Audience, welcome to the revision session 1 of Advanced Performance Management. And this is your instructor, Rizwan Maniya. We're starting for December 2020. So first of all, a quick idea what exactly we are doing. So you all know revision of key topics, obviously, that we'll be doing. Past paper practice, it's very important. Focus on drafting of answers, very important, because at the end of the day, what matters is the drafting part. Yeah, I do agree that now some of the students are paying for CDs, some are still giving manual. So don't worry. First of all, let's not go into the debate of CD or manual right now, as it's the day one. So let's just focus on the concept building, understanding of the question requirements. Let's learn how to draft the answer, whether it's paper-based or CBE both. Discussion about the marking scheme as always. And at the end, we'll have a grand revision of APM. So our fifth day of the webinar basically will be the fifth session of the webinar will be a grand revision, as always. So, a quick reminder. In fact, I am the one who really brought this concept of management consultant into the market of APM. And I always tell everybody that you all are management consultants. You all are management experts, or I would say you all are business owners. So your mindset should be of business owner or of a consultant. And as a consultant, yeah, you should know that you need to focus on all the aspects of a business, and you need to help a business to improve their performance management and measure. So friends, this is the most important thing. As always, mission statement of an organization, vision of an organization. I always tell everybody that mission and vision are the key things for any organization. Understanding mission is extremely important because mission basically indicates the purpose of the company, its reason for existence. It tells its primary stakeholders for whom the organization actually exists for, okay? And how the organization provides value to these stakeholders. So it is very important that mission gives a clear message to the primary stakeholders that we exist for you, and it should very clearly mention that the value of that particular stakeholder group is important for the organization. It is very important that they should be clear. It's important they should be clear. Anything which is vague can create a problem. Should represent the actual values. Yeah, whatever you say, you do it. They say action speaks louder than words, right? So if action is not according to mission, so that mission is not useful for an organization. So what it indicates the reason for existence, the purpose of an organization. Followed by this is vision. So what is vision? Vision indicates the preferred picture for an organization and how the future will look. So it's very simple. If you achieve your mission, you will be able to achieve your vision as well. So achieving mission always supports vision. So my dear consultants, you all should know that an achievement of a mission helps to achieve your dreams. Okay? So let's read the mission of Facebook and let's analyze very quickly the key components of mission the key things that are written in the mission, and whether Facebook is fulfilling all those things or not. And you people will decide whether Facebook is doing this or not. Facebook's mission is to give people the power to share and make world more open and connected. So is it true? Yeah, I think it's true. Facebook has achieved this mission. Facebook has given people the power to share whatever they want to. Now, I'm not saying it's good, but yeah, it does have positives and it does have negatives. So yeah, people do share. And yes, the connection between different people living in different parts of the world has made more and more stronger. So yeah, this is the mission. So consultants, do you agree with the Facebook's mission? If you do, then yes, Facebook is actually doing what Facebook has actually mentioned in its mission. So this is what I say, actual values. The organization should be doing whatever they have stated in their mission. Then comes vision. People use Facebook to stay connected with friends and family, to discover what's going on in the world, and to share and express what matters to them. So this is the vision. This is the dream of Facebook, that people should first come to Facebook to get a new information, to share things with people. So it's a dream of Facebook. Now, if Facebook is successful in achieving its mission, if Facebook has made this possible for people throughout the world to remain connected with each other, if Facebook has given that power to share, then this dream of Facebook will come true, that yes, people will prefer Facebook in that case. So the dream is that Facebook should come at first place when it comes to sharing and connecting with people. So if they achieve their mission by connecting people in the right way, they will achieve their vision as well. Okay. So I hope you all agree with me on this point, that a mission statement consistency ensures achievement of a vision. Now, uh, everybody should know that there is a very important hierarchy. I always mention that, which starts from vision, then goes towards mission, then further goes towards strategies, then goals, then objectives, and then CSFs and KPIs. So it's a performance hierarchy. We call this as a performance hierarchy. So it means that if you want to achieve your vision, you want to achieve your purpose, your reason for existence, that is mission. And if you want to achieve your purpose, your course of action, your strategy should be in the right direction. It should be in the right way. And if you want to achieve your strategies, so you need to achieve the goals, your goals. And if you want to achieve your goals, you need to achieve objectives, objectives. Okay. And to achieve objectives, you need to achieve the success factors known as critical success factors, known as CSFs. You need to achieve CSFs. Okay. And if you achieve CSFs, if you want to achieve CSFs, so you have to ensure that you achieve KPIs, key performance indicators. Those indicators that will check whether CSFs are being achieved or not. So yeah, KPIs are those indicators, those will check whether CSFs are being achieved or not. So remember, Vifians, KPIs are of two types. One is financial performance indicators. Second is non-financial performance indicators. So it's important to focus on both the majors, that is FPIs and NFPIs. FPIs and NFPIs. Okay. So if you just follow the approach of this performance hierarchy, and if you ensure that you achieve your non-financial indicators and financial indicators, so it means that you are achieving your CSFs, which means you are achieving your objectives, which means you're achieving your goals, which means you're achieving strategy, which means you're achieving the mission and ultimately the vision. So this is the performance hierarchy. Now, what I'll be doing here is that this time I'll be taking a reverse approach. And what is my reverse approach? What is my focus? I have conducted lots of ACCA webinars before, around 6 webinars. Last time I conducted webinar from the Vifhe's platform in September 2020. What I personally believe is that student is lacking not in terms of knowledge. You know indicators, you know what balanced scorecard is, you know what performance pyramid is. Where are you lacking actually? So you are lacking when it comes to solving the question. You are lacking in terms of understanding the requirements. And my focus and intention now and in the entire series of webinar will be to ensure that you do understand the question. You do understand the question. Because if you do understand the question and you know how to write the answer, then success is yours. Nobody can stop you from passing. So in these days where we'll be focusing on the questions, section A, section B, and how to get marks, how to get easy marks, and I will prove that how I'll make this easy for you. So yeah, I'll take a reverse approach. We will start with the question and we'll see what is being asked in the question and the topics that are asked in the question. Then we'll go towards the basics of those topics. We just recap that and then we'll implement right and then and there, keeping in mind the scenario. So this approach will actually do two things. One, it will teach you how to link things from the scenario. The game of APM is how to solve a question. That's it. And it will also give you a good revision about the topic. So I hope you will like my strategy this time. Do give your feedback at the end of the session. It's a small request to all of my students that don't leave the session. Remain connected till the end. If you take all the webinars, all the days, and you take complete sessions, then I'm sure it will give you a very good opportunity to pass. Plus, after this webinar ends, then I'll share a very important plan with all of the students, how you have to spend the remaining 27 days, what you have to do the remaining 27 days. And this is what I've done before as well. I am not shy sharing my strategy with you people because my intention is to ensure that the global audience who is listening to me right now passes APM. Okay. So let's make this a bit more interactive. Please, there are lots of people who are listening to me right now. A quick yes in the chat box from all the students will give me the surety that you are all listening me. So let's start now. In the chat box, okay? Not in Q&A section, in the chat box. So I need to see everybody writing just a yes. Now I've just received 99 comments here and we have 200 plus students right now. So 99 comments is nothing. Come on, please. Just a small yes. And to make me happy, Okay, so this will give me a very good, confirmation that people are listening and following what all I am saying. Okay, and I'm sure the approach that I will be adopting today will give you lots of confidence before your paper. Please do give me your feedbacks. Remain in the session till the end. I will, and I've always been helpful to you people. My slogan continues. I always tell everybody, what is my slogan? If anybody can quickly write, what is my slogan about APM? Let's see if anybody knows about it or not. Yeah, great. Great. My struggle for APM continues and increasing the passing ratio. So thank you very much, my friends. Thank you very much for coming in large numbers. Thank you very much for once again trusting Rizwan Maniya, once again trusting Vifhe, once again trusting uh, the plan that that I've given you people. Thank you very much for your complete trust on Rizwan Maniya. Now we have a question in front of us, and do tell me that the strategy that I am adopting today, what do you think at the end of the session? Will this be a workable one or not? Okay. Okay. So just stay calm, just be relaxed. And one more thing, just try to understand the concepts. I will share my slides with you people. Just don't waste your time in copying the matters. Just do one thing. What all important observations that you learn, just note down those observations. That's it. Other than that, you don't have to copy the answer. After the session today, I will share the solution. I will share the solution on the respective WhatsApp groups. Those who are new to APM World of Rizwan Mania, I'm sharing my number. It's +92 321 2436266. Just note down my number. It's my WhatsApp number. Just quickly WhatsApp me right now. If you're not part of my groups, I will send you the link. Once you will WhatsApp me, once I will send you the link of the group, what you can do is then I'll share the complete answer that I will be showing today so that you get the complete answer in a PowerPoint presentation wise or a PDF that will be helpful for you for the examination. Okay. So I will share the document. You don't have to copy, just understand, try to learn, respond me back. And yes, one more thing, just write the important observations that you are learning. Okay. So it's my number. Please just send me a quick WhatsApp and I'll send you the link later on after the session. Thank you very much. I've shared my number. I hope you will just send me a quick WhatsApp and then I'll send you the link later on. Let's start with December 2019, Section A question. Archaic manufacturing. So first of all, the first tip to you people is before you start answering the question, first quickly move towards the question requirement. Just look at the question requirement first. Okay. So let's read the question requirements, and this is what you have to do exactly in the paper as well. Okay. By reading the requirement, what exactly happens is you get to understand the topics that are tested in the question, and you can plan accordingly and you can recall the things that you have learned about that respective topic. So let's start. It's now 1st September 20x5. Write a report to the Chief Executive Officer of the company to respond to his instructions for work on the following areas. Okay, so it's a 11 mark requirement. As you can see, the first part, the performance reporting at the company. Now, the question that you are looking right now is a new pattern of examination. Now, the core thing that you have to do is not written in the main requirement. It's hidden in the scenario. So this means you have to read the scenario, but reading the requirement gives you the idea about the topics that are tested, and it makes us easy to approach the answer. So the performance report, which means the question and the scenario does includes the performance report, a very common topic for our paper. The introduction of economic value added, which is EVA, which means EVA is also tested here. The information requested on performance hierarchy, it's a different type of a requirement. Let's see what is that. I just mentioned a quick idea about what was the hierarchy. The value chain analysis prepared by the consultant. So it gives me another idea that value chain is also tested here. Professional marks will be awarded for the style, format, and the structure of the decision of your answer, and this is for 4 marks. From day one, when I started teaching this paper, I always mention in lots of my webinars of ACCA and in my online regular classes that students, consultants go for easy marks. Why do you leave easy marks? If easy marks can ensure you a pass, why leave easy marks? So for me, getting these 4 easy marks is my first target. And what all it requires, I'll discuss that in the today's session, what all it will require us to just get these easy 4 marks. So before I read the scenario and listen, whatever I'm doing right now in front of you people, this is exactly what you have to do when you are practicing at your home. And let me tell you, if it is a 50 mark question, so as per the examination requirements, I would say 1.8 minutes per mark. 1.8 minutes per mark. Now, how many minutes we have if it's a 50 mark question? So we should be solving this question in how many minutes? I'm sure consultants, you exactly know that the maximum marks available to you in this case should be 90, I beg your pardon, 90 minutes. This means in 90 minutes, you should be solving this question in the exam environment. And this is what you have to prepare yourself. So whatever we are doing right now, you have to do a rehearsal of that. And that rehearsal will ensure that you are able to do in the exam conditions. So yeah, my plan does not end here. My plan will just start. So once we solve this question, I will ask you people to solve the question in your own way, whether you are in an office or at your own homes. Just make sure that you spend dedicated time on it. And what is dedicated time? You have to ensure that in 90 minutes, just judge yourself that how much you are able to solve in 90 minutes. Just try one question, it will take more than 90 minutes, then solve other question, will take more than 90 minutes, then solve other question, will take more than 90 minutes. But likewise, as you get used to the things, you will be able to reduce the time. My friends, still we have lots of days available before the paper, and let's not wait for other attempt. Let's ensure that we all pass in this coming attempt. So for that, few days of hard work, few days of hardship will give you a big success. Not only clearing ACCA will give you the happiness and the satisfaction, even it will give you a promotion. Becoming an ACCA affiliate will increase your opportunities in your ACCA career path. So yeah, let's give our best. Let's not be demotivated. Let's not think negative. Let's take this a fresh attempt. Let's be with Rizwan, Maniya. Let's work together as a team and let's try our best to pass the paper. So, my dear consultants, be with me, follow the plans that I'll share after the webinar on 13. And after that, we will be having a grand revision as well. And we'll be having a free live mock as well. And in that mock, everybody should be present. Like the way all you are present right now, you have to solve mock in front of me. That will be a live mock that I'll conduct for you people. So my friends, doing such a thing will improve your time management in the paper. But before we go towards the mock, I will suggest lots of questions to you people so that you can solve those questions and just master yourself before the mock. And once we are done with the mock, then success, inshallah, will be for you people. So, yeah, having understood the questions, the basic things. So, what things are required? Four: performance report. Number two, EVA. Number three, information for this performance hierarchy. Number four, Porter's value chain. Now, let's start with the question. Before I start towards the question, I just want to give you a quick idea about performance report. So, what is exactly a performance report? You all know that the strategic management usually requires a summary. We call that summary as a dashboard, or we call this as a performance report. This performance report is a one that is used by the strategic management, or I would say the board of directors. And using this report, what exactly they do? They assess the performance of the organization. So now what exactly we are doing right now is we are just learning quick tips here. I'm just giving you quick tips. So do listen my tips very carefully and then I'll show you how I'll apply the tips right now in the scenario. Just listen to my tips. Whenever you are required to evaluate a report, okay, whenever you are required to evaluate a report, okay, so what exactly you have to do? How will you evaluate a report? First thing is you will look, is the report according to the organization's mission and the aims that are mentioned in the question. I'll just practically demonstrate right now in few minutes. So first what you need to do, you need to quickly go to the question and look at the mission or the aims that are mentioned in the question. And then what you have to do, you have to check whether the report is actually uh, aligned with the company's mission or aim that are mentioned in the scenario. When I say that whether they are aligned or they, they are in line with the mission or the aims, it means that if your mission has been stated in the question, so the report should reflect those things, because something that you have mentioned in your mission, and if your report is not reflecting that, which means your board of directors will not be able to ensure that whether we are fulfilling our mission or we will be fulfilling our mission or not. So my Vifians, my consultants, my message is very simple to all of you. And the message is, when you are required to evaluate the report, so first of all, just look at the mission of an organization or the aims that are mentioned, and then go to that report. And then go to that report and see whether this report is according to the what you say according to the mission or the aims that are mentioned in the question. Okay, so we have to check that. So it says should define its purpose, and any evaluation of a performance report must address the extent to which these are being measured and allow the organization executive to see if its mission is being achieved or not. This is what I'm mentioning. Your strategic board of directors are really interested to see whether we are in direction towards achieving the mission or not. So they are really interested in looking at that. So for that, what I'm saying is that you people needs to look at the purpose and see the report whether it's fulfilling or not. The second thing that I always tell to my students is a quick check at the audience. The report is useful for which type of audience? That is, whether it is useful for the board of directors, whether it is for the technical managers, or whether it is for the operational managers. You need to understand the audience. Audience is strategic people or the operational people. So yeah, audience determination is extremely important. And why I'm saying is because that if you have understood the audience and your report is not according to the audience, so it's a useless report. It's a useless report, which means if you are doing a very good financial analysis and you are giving that analysis to a class 7th student just to analyze it, so that is not a relevant stuff for that class 7th student. Okay, so this means you are not sending that right thing to the right audience. So just check the audience and see whether the report is according to the audience or not. Audience normally can include board of directors, managers, owners, government, or generally those charged with governance. Then comes information, a quick look and in the report that whether report is just financial based or it's non-financial based, or you have both and there is a balance of these two. Plus, if it's non-financial, so is it qualitative information or it is quantitative information? A simple difference is that qualitative is something that you cannot easily measure, but quantitative is what you can measure. Like staff morale is qualitative, but number of employees is quantitative. Okay. Furthermore, you have to check that whether that information is useful for planning and controlling. Now, one information is that helps you in future, that helps you to plan in future. And the other information is that helps you to compare your performance and just find out whether you have performed well or not. So you have to check the information that is given to you in the report is for planning purpose or it's for controlling purpose. Lastly, you have to check the layout, how simple the report is, how easy it is for you to understand the report. And mainly what we do is that we link this layout with the audience. We do consider that the layout of the report should be according to the audience. Now, what this means, it's very simple, my friends. Now, if your audience is strategic board of directors, so what do you think? What do you think? Will you submit them a report that shows everything, or it's a very detailed report? Not at all. Plus, when you give them the report, so what do you think? The figures that you have taken there are till the last decimal place? No. Why for a board of director will we use this figures to be rounded off till last decimal place? Not at all. So if your report is being given to the board of directors, my friends, you have to ensure that it should be rounded off in millions or thousands so that they are easily able to understand. So for board of directors, things should be very, very, very much summarized one. Plus, it should include a commentary, which is always very important. Now, what commentary is? Commentary is basically something that tells you the major changes and the reasons for that. It basically indicates the reasons for the major changes. So, as a board of director, you will want to know why rows changed, why there is a dip in the revenue, why gross profit margin reduced. So, as a board of director, there are certain questions that board of director might want to know and get the answers of. So a good strategic report will include a commentary, and this commentary will basically indicate the major reasons of in relation to major things that have happened. So a good commentary is always a good sign of a report. So it must be easy to see, easy to understand. One more thing I need to add, it should be ratio based, because board of directors are concerned with ratios a lot, and they like when you have ratios. So whenever you are required to evaluate a report, you need to take an approach of PAIL. I call this PAIL. Now, what is PAIL? Whenever you are required to evaluate a report, so my friends, first of all, do what? Very simple, I'm telling. Just go to the scenario, find out the mission or the subsidiary aims, and then have a good look whether the report is fulfilling those aims or a mission or not. Or I would say, is the report reflecting those things or not? Secondly, check the audience and the layout. Is the audience board of directors, and is the layout according to the audience or not? Then check whether it includes financial, non-financial information, quantitative non-financial information, and is the information useful for planning and controlling. So this is an approach of PAIL. Through this approach, you can judge, you can understand, you can evaluate a performance report. So my friends, having understood the basics of PAIL, I'm sure you all are with me here, that I have explained to you that what exactly the approach of PAIL is. And the approach of PAIL is that look at the purpose, audience, information, and layouts. Okay. Now, having said that, I'm quickly moving towards the past paper question, and keep in your mind whatever I have mentioned here. We'll check whether the report is aligned with the purpose, according to the audience, what kind of information is given, and what kind of layout is there. So let's do a practical demonstration of PAIL. Audio. Okay, my friends, are we all ready up till now? Is everything going good? Yes, please. Excited to be with me in this session? Okay, I hope you trust me and you will follow the plan. And to be honest, the more you rely, the more I put my effort into this. Okay, the more you trust, the more I put my effort into this. Okay, Meena, I will send you the copy of this question in the WhatsApp group later on after the session. Okay, so I will give my best uh, in all these days, and I will try my best to help you maximum to gain the confidence and understand how to solve the questions. Okay, so I'll give my best, but just do me a promise. Just do me a promise, and that is you will attend all the days of the webinar, and after the webinar you will attend the grand revision, and after grand revision you will attempt live mock. Just promise that you will be part of the live mock, please. You have to be part of the live mock, and this will give us a very good confidence booster. Whatever plan that I'll give you after the webinars, you have to promise that you'll follow that. Let's try our best. You know, as a human being, what we can do is we can do hard work. Whatever religion we follow, the basic idea is we just have to do one thing. We have to do hard work. Everybody says do hard work. So we have to do hard work and then leave the rest to God. And let's pray that whatever hard work we have done, we get the success. So as a human being, we are just required to do the hard work. Okay, my friends, let's move on. Now, first requirement is about performance report. So it's paid. Arctic Manufacture is a world leading listed manufacturer. of production machinery for other industries. Now, what I personally say always to my students, that always when you're reading the question, try to understand the nature of the business. As a consultant, this is very much important because you have to be very much practical in the paper. You can't just throw out the things, okay? You can't just write what you have learned. So understanding what type of business they do is something that gives you the confidence and the idea what you have to write. So yeah, the nature of the business, it's a manufacturing list. It's a manufacturing company, and what they do, they basically manufacture machinery for other industries. Okay, it has customers in the mining, so its customer base is mining, cement companies, and chemical sectors, and seeks to provide them with the equipment, software. They also make softwares and service for their products, and they give after sales service, or they do the service work as well. The aim of the company, now having said that, pale. So yeah, if pale is something that I have to keep in my mind for the first part. So yeah, the aim of the company, aim. So from here, I can easily figure out aim. So it says aim, and let's now underline and see what aim do they have. The aim is to maximize shareholder wealth. Okay, so their aim is to maximize shareholder wealth by providing world class, okay, perfect, tailored automation solution. So they have to maximize shareholder wealth by doing what? By providing world-class, tailored, automated solutions. Okay, this means according to the requirement of the companies, which use technology innovatively, show improved machine downtime, and reduce energy consumption for our customers. So you can see lots of aim and subsidiary aims are mentioned, key being the maximization of shareholder wealth by providing world-class, okay, tailored automated solutions, using technology innovatively, reducing the machine downtime, reduce the energy consumption for the customers. This is supported by an entrepreneurial culture among all employees who should treat the business as if they owned it. So you need to have an entrepreneur culture there. Now, what is entrepreneur culture? Entrepreneur culture means that people should take the ownership of the organization. Entrepreneur culture means that people should accept, okay, this is my organization. So it says that this is what you need to achieve by promoting such kind of a culture where people do consider that this is my business and they do take the ownership. So I think according to Pale, we have understood the purpose. And the best thing is just break the aims into smaller and smaller and smaller parts. The more you break, the more it will be easy for you to check whether these are being reflected in the performance reports or not. So now, strategic internal performance reporting. There has been criticism of the company's current performance reporting, and yeah, this is what we are talking about, by one of the directors at a recent board meeting. However, Chief Executive Officer believes that the reporting system which we put in place 2 years ago is an excellent one. So the CEO believes it's good, the director is complaining. In preparation for the next board meeting, the CEO needs an evaluation of the current report. Now, my friends, listen. As I mentioned, the new format of examiner in the paper is that the examiner will tell you the requirement while reading the scenario. So here we have the requirement, which is very much clear that we have to do evaluation of the current report. Evaluation of the current report. As an example, a recent report used by the board for strategic review is given in Appendix 1. So I'll just quickly jump towards Appendix 1 in a while. The CEO stressed. Now listen, you won't you won't believe if you read the examiner report of this question, despite the question mentioning you indirectly that it was the report and not the performance of the business which should be evaluated. So it is very, very clearly mentioned here that you don't have to evaluate the performance of the company. Rather, you have to evaluate the report that is given in the dashboard. You will not believe, despite this is mentioned in the question, the CEO is saying that, not saying, even stressing on this, considering everything, still the examiner mentioned in its report that there were few talented students who still started doing the evaluation of the performance. They started assessing the performance of the company. They started doing the performance. They started assessing the company's performance. They started mentioning that the performance of the company is going good, it's going bad. They started calculating the ratios. They started doing interpretation of the ratios. My friends, my consultants, so much focus has been on this thing that you can't do this. And that is why, if you all remember, it was it was Rizwan Maniya who introduced these magical categories for you people. And the only reason for doing this was to give you the idea that you don't do the mistake in understanding the question requirements. So yes, my friends, the first requirement or a type of requirement that can come in your paper is just a theoretical explanation of the model. Whatever the model is, like balance scorecard, performance pyramid, whatever it is, which is very much, which you need to keep in mind that will not be tested much. It is the second and the third that creates the problem for my consultants. Second requirement is basically about evaluation or assessment about the performance of the business, whether you do it with or without model. So yeah, it is the performance of the business that is required in the second category, which means that you have to actually check the business performance. You have to actually calculate the ratios for an organization, whether you calculate financial ratios or you calculate non-financial ratios. But yes, it requires you to do some calculation stuff, then comment, the sales is going up, the business is going down, and the reasons why sales is going up, the reason why sales is going down. So yes, it requires you to do a proper assessment of the performance of the company as to financially company is going good or non-financial company is going good or bad. So this is assessment of the performance, which is not required right now in the question. And this is what the CEO was stressing towards. CEO mentioned, my consultant, please don't do this mistake. Don't start assessing the performance of the company. Rather come to category 3, where I always say this is 3.1, this is 3.2, and this is 3.3. So I'll just stick to what I need to teach you here. It's evaluation of the current performance management system. And this is your performance report or a dashboard, which means what you are doing here is you are evaluating your current system of reporting. You are evaluating your current system of reporting. Now, what is your current system of reporting? The report that the board of directors use for the evaluation purpose. So you are not required to evaluate the performance, how good or bad the company is doing. You don't have to look at the report just to find out the performance of the organization. Rather, my friends, you have to look at the report to see whether report is good enough or not. You have to watch, analyze, evaluate whether report is good enough or not, whether report is a one that is according to what purpose of an organization, according to audience who are using it, according to the information that is required and its layout. So yeah, in this category 3.3, you are required to evaluate the system of reporting that is used by the strategic board of directors, and you have to tell whether this report is according to purpose, audience, information, and the layout is good or not. So yeah, my Vifians, this is category 3.3, where we are evaluating not the performance but the report. So if you have understood my magical categories, so you will easily understand what CEO is actually stressing, not to assess the performance, but you have to evaluate the report. So this is category 3.3 using the magical categories. I hope I hope everybody is with me and everybody is enjoying the way I'm linking the thing. And it's not yet done. I will make this today a piece of a cake for you. I've taught this report hundreds of times before, but not the way I'm doing right now. So do give me your feedback. Now, having said that, is the voice not clear? Yeah, please. I am just getting the uh, feedback from students in relation to voice. Please just check the voice. Please just confirm me. Is it not right? A majority confirmation will help me to decide whether it's right or wrong. It's cracking a bit. Anyone else? Please just quickly confirm. Is the voice okay to all of you? Cracking a little. Now this may be due to internet issue at your end, I think. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me do one thing, and then tell me it's okay or not. Okay, let me do one thing and tell me. Must mute. Now tell me. Okay, now tell me, is it good? I've done a small change. Is it now okay? Better? Excellent. Thank you. So it's better now. Are we recording? Are we recording right? Okay, this is because of this. It's recording. Okay, now that's great. Just continue with the recording. Yeah. Is it better now, right? You will be able to see me. Just open the camera. Okay, now you can see me as well. Okay, is it perfect now? Great. Thank you very much. Perfect. Thank you for your feedback. Let's not. Okay, you can't see me. Okay, let me do a small change. Okay, now tell me. Yeah, please. Can you see me now? Okay, now just give me 1 minute. I'll fix it. Okay, is it now well? I think now the voice will be good as well, and you can see me now. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your confirmation. Voice is good, and you can see me as well, right? Perfect to go.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's move on. Let's come on, guys. Let's refocus now. Let's refocus. So, having understood the category 3.6, 3.3, having understood the category 3.3, now now let's not read further and let's stop here. Okay? And let's go to Appendix 1. Okay? Appendix 1. So this is the Appendix 1. Let's have a quick look at the information. Okay? We have orders, we have revenue, we have revenue growth, we have net profit, we have net profit margin, and we have ROS. Great. This is divided into mining, cement, and chemicals according to our customer industry. So orders are given to us in millions. Order value, it's the order value. Okay. Revenue is given to us as well. Uh, Revenue growth in terms of percentage, net profit, the absolute figures, then net profit margin, which means net profit divided by sales, and return on capital employed. Not to forget, we are given with prior year figures as well for our comparison purpose. And we are also given with industry average in relation to two things, that is net profit margin and return on capital employed. And this is very much good for benchmarking purpose. So benchmarking is something you have to keep in your mind. Commentary. The company has increased its ROS on the previous year and exceeded the industry benchmark. So we can see here from previous year it improved, and from industry as well it exceeded. Revenue has fallen by 2.9%, which you can see here on the previous year, but the order book has grown by 0.7%, which means your order book has grown by 0.7%, indicating sustained sales level going forward. Net profit margin has increased to 4.9%, as you can see here, the total. Again, exceeding the industry benchmark of 4.6, which you can see here. So it's exceeding again. The company has continued to emphasize its entrepreneurial culture to its employees, as it was mentioned in the subsidiary aims above, that company needs to ensure that people do consider themselves as entrepreneurs of the organization. Okay, so yeah, you have to keep this in your mind. Now, this is the report. Now, how will you proceed in the paper? How will you approach the question in the paper? I will make this piece of a cake. Let's start. First of all, I will take my easy marks, and that is professional marks for the report. So, the report should include to the CEO from an expert or accountant, date September 2025, subject performance reporting and management issues. You can write a very reasonable subject. Once you just read the requirements, as it were mentioned, performance report, there was about EVA, there was about what you say, the information at different levels, and the last it was value chain. So a reasonable subject. Then the introduction paragraph. All this will give you 4 marks. Okay. So introduction paragraphs mainly will just repeat the requirements that are tested in the question. So it says this report evaluates the current performance report used by the board for strategic review. The first requirement is this one. Next, the use of EVA, which we haven't read right now, but we have understood that there was something about EVA. And the company is illustrated and its use compared to ROS. Okay. Then the differences between performance and management at different levels of management hierarchy are discussed. implications of the value chain analysis and performance management are assessed. Okay? With the introduction paragraph, and this is what. Okay, starting again. My video is not important. My sound is important. Okay, so I'll just shut off my video and we'll open the sound on. Okay, I'm just closing my video and opening the sound. So let's do it. Close this one. Yeah. Okay, now. So I have just fixed this. I hope now the sound will not be a problem. It will be perfect. Now I just closed my camera because of the bandwidth it takes. Okay, so I'm just closed the camera. Sound is all good now. I'm sure it will not be a problem now. Is it perfect? Okay. Thank you for informing me again. I hope now it will not be a problem. Hopefully. So yeah, let's move on. This is open, right? So now let's make this a piece of a cake. So this is the introduction paragraph. For getting 4 professional marks, a good heading, as you have seen here, a good introduction paragraph, and subheadings. Subheadings are really important. So, to, from, date, subject, an introduction paragraph, and then you use subheadings for different requirements. Then you use what? Subheadings for different requirements. Subheadings for different requirements. And if you just use subheadings for different requirements, that is part of a report. Then things should be in paragraph. You can't write bullets. You cannot write bullets. You have to use paragraphs. But yes, you can use different multiple paragraphs. You can use different multiple paragraphs. Okay. So we are done with this one as well. I hope there is no problem here. So what I mentioned, to, from, date, subject, the introduction paragraph, and the subheadings that you have to use, the subheadings that you have to use, uh, because those are important. And things should be in paragraph, not in terms of listings. So we are clear with this one. It says, see the next slide. Let's start. Vifians, you will like the way I will make this a piece of a cake, but you need to be patient about it. Let me just conclude this stuff. Then we'll tell you how to write in a paragraph. Okay. So let's start. We are evaluating a report. The first work that you have to do, and what I've done is that I made a proper sequence, and this sequence is giving you the idea. First, you will write this, then you will write this, then you will write this. So just look at the sequence. First, you will start with pale purpose, and you will look at the aim. So the aim was mentioned in the scenario. So just write the aim in the answer. And it was to maximize shareholder wealth. It will become piece of a cake for you, okay? So first, start with the aim. Whatever aim is mentioned in the question, just write that. Then the other supporting pillars. To achieve shareholder wealth maximization, what was important? So it mentioned to become world-class, to produce world-class products, tailored solution, tech innovatively you have to use, improve downtime, reduce energy consumption, and the approach of entrepreneur among the employees. Wow. I'm writing here number one, which is giving you the idea that this is the first thing you have to write when you start your answer. And yes, this will be in a paragraph. The way I'm presenting right now is to make this really easy for you, okay? But you have to write in a paragraph. So, having said that, going back to the scenario here, yeah, going back to the scenario, I can quickly give you a very good reference here. As you just saw here, that this is the paragraph I'm talking about, and this is the paragraph that you have to quietly write again in the answer, the overall aim of shareholder, and then the other supporting pillars of being world class, tailored, innovation, efficiency, and all, and the entrepreneurial culture among the employees. So I've just rewritten all the things again. But what I've done is that I have written in such a way that it gives reader the idea that I have broken them all into different areas. So what I've done is I just broke this into different areas and that's it. Okay. Now let's move on. Be with me. This will definitely help you. Yeah, I just mentioned that I can't keep the video open just because of the connection issue. So I just want to ensure sound is all right. So I've done that. Okay. Now we have written that. Then what is the next thing? We have to find out positives and we have to find out negatives. This is what we need to do. Positives and negatives. Okay. So positives and negatives is what we need to look here. So now let's find positives first. Keep in mind purpose, P of pale. Okay. And keeping that in mind, let's find out the positives. So if I go back to the question, if I go back to the question, so you can see here in the question, the information that is given to me here, is it a financial one? Yeah, it's a financial one. It's a financial information. Okay, financial information is good for shareholders. It is good for shareholders' wealth. So the positive is we have a financial information given here. Okay. What else is good here? Uh, the other thing is that we are given with net profit, because shareholders are concerned about the profit. So yeah, net profit figure is given to us. That is a good thing. We are given with net profit margin and return on capital employed as well. So yeah, it is also good for the shareholders' perspective. Uh, the other positive what I see here is that we are given with net profit margin industry average and return on capital employed industry average. So it gives me the opportunity to benchmark. It gives the opportunity to benchmark. So this is how we'll benchmark. We'll compare our performance with the industry average. So these are the positives that I mentioned here. That is, financial information is given to us. In absolute terms, net profit is given to us. We are given with net profit margin. We are given with return on capital employed. We can even compare with the industry average. So these are the positive things to write. So let's move here and see number of financial measures. Maximize shareholder wealth. Maximize shareholder wealth. Okay, maximize shareholder wealth. Financial numbers are given to you. Now let's see what I'm doing. Let's see what is given for maximization of shareholder wealth. Okay, so we'll just come to this, but before that we will write here overall performance measures for shareholders are what? Absolute net profit and ROS is given to us. Good to benchmark net profit margin and ROS with industry averages. So these are the positives that are given to us for shareholder maximization. We are checking that. Okay, so these are the positives that are given to us. Furthermore, the report shows financial performance by sector like cement, like mining, as well as in total for the business, and the provision of some industry averages. There were two averages. One was for net profit margin, and the other was for the ROS, is useful in benchmarking performance. So this is helpful in benchmarking the performance. So yeah, it's good. It's a positive thing. It's a positive thing in the report that we are given with these things, and through this we can uh, understand the shareholder value creation perspective. But is it enough? The question is it enough? So let's come towards negative. No, it's not enough. There is a weak connection of report with the mission. There is a weak connection of report with the mission. Why? Because everything is financial, and the things that are given, like absolute net profit margin, sorry, absolute net profit, or the net profit margin, or return on capital employed, all are indirectly linked to the shareholder. All are indirectly linked to the shareholder. Now try to understand the way I'm making this simple for you. So first what I did was I wrote positives and I'm just numbering them. This is number 2. After number 1, this is number 2 in a separate paragraph. So what I've done here, that this is number 2, and first I told about the positives, and then I mentioned about the negative, which is all these are indirect measures of shareholder value creation. However, the best is economic value added. Economic value added is the best one for shareholder value creation, which we'll just move next after this question. So, the negative aspect, and remember, just make sure that still we are at purpose of this pay. Okay, still we are at purpose of this pay. Okay, still we are at the purpose of this pay. So we are just first considering purpose. Okay, so the main aim, shareholder value creation. Is shareholder value creation being assessed through the report? The answer is no. Indirectly, yes. Directly, no. Okay. Now coming towards these supporting pillars, one by one. Let's see one by one. World-class products, tailored solution, tech innovatively, improve downtime, reduce energy consumption, or entrepreneurial culture among employees. Now, what do you think if I just quickly show you the report? Can you say that the report is showing us directly about the technology innovation that we are doing, or about the change in the employees' culture, or about uh, world class being world class, or about, let's suppose, the tailored solutions? No, no, not at all. The report is not covering these aspects at all. The report is not covering these aspects at all. It's mainly financial, right? So it is not giving you the message as to whether the company is fulfilling all those things. No, it is not fulfilling all those things at all. So what we'll write here, let's see. Other supporting pillars. I'm talking about these ones now, okay? This is what I have to write at third, and this is what I have to write at fourth. So other supporting pillars. Other supporting pillars not directly measured. For example, we can just write few things as an example. Don't start giving suggestions, okay? This is just an example to give the idea that our evaluation is really good. Just to give the idea to the examiner that actually we know what we are writing. So, being world class could have been measured by what? Percentage of market share. Yeah. if you have a major chunk in the market, so this means you are the leading person. And if you are the leading person, this can give a sign that you are world class. So yeah, percentage market share. Then tailored solution. So whether you are providing tailored solution or not, that depends on customer responses, like number of feedbacks from the customers. If customer in return says, yes, we are happy, you have this data in the report that people are saying that we are happy with your solutions. So this means, yes, our report is our report is mentioning all these things. So nothing such is mentioned in the report. Then tech innovation, number of awards. If some information like awards was given here, then we would have said yes. Through awards, we can really understand that we are innovating things and we are using technology at its best. Then machine downtime, percentage reduction in downtime. That is how quickly we have reduced the downtime. So that is measuring machine downtime, right? Then reduce energy, percentage reduction in energy consumption. Again, we need to have the survey and we need to understand from the customers that how many units are being reduced by using our machine. Percentage reduction of that would give us the information about these supporting pillars. So my consultants, the current report has any information like these? Not at all. It is just focusing on financial numbers. That's it. And is not focusing on the other aspects. So, this is a negative point that all the other supporting pillars are not being measured in the right way. Furthermore, entrepreneurial culture, entrepreneur culture, no measure, no measure. It was just a comment. Now, where was the comment? Let's have a look in the scenario. Point number 4 of commentary, it says the company has continued to emphasize its entrepreneurial culture to its employees. Now, my friends, mentioning just a comment is not enough. You don't have any indicator of that. Okay, you don't have any indicator of that. Just simply mentioning that we are doing is not enough. So make sure you don't do such a mistake by saying, okay, this is being measured. No, it is not being measured. It's just a comment and nothing else. So, yes, it's just a comment and nothing else. So, keeping all this in mind, you have to keep this in your mind that yes, this is not being measured. So, now if you see here, what I have done, I started my answer with the breakup of overall aim and now the marking scheme. You will get up to 2 marks for breaking up to 2 marks so that it doesn't gives you confusion here. Let me write marks here. So 2 marks you will get by just breaking this stuff. If you break the aim into different parts, you get 2 marks. Now, this part is of 11 marks. The examinable verb was evaluation, and the object was the report. So, you have to evaluate the report. So, 2 marks for just breaking the aim, and the remaining 9 marks for the entire pale that you are writing. So we started with the aim, that is the purpose, and we mentioned the positives and the negatives, and one by one we looked at each aspect. Like we started with shareholder value creation, we mentioned what positives are in relation to measuring shareholder value creation and what are the negatives for measuring shareholder value creation. And then we moved on towards the supporting pillars and we checked each supporting pillar whether the current report is good enough to measure these supporting pillars or not. And if it is not, then you have to say, just ensure you have that courage to mention that, yeah, it is not fulfilling. Come on, what's your feedback? The way I have explained, did this made it easy for you or not? Just give me a quick one. Is it explained well? Now I will take your questions. So just hold your questions right now so that I can answer you all your questions. You don't leave the session. We'll have a question and answer session until unless you people are satisfied. I will not close the webinar. I am here 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever you tell me. Okay, I'll solve your all your problems. I've I've strictly told my family members that I'll not come until unless I answer each and every question. Okay, so yeah, thank you. So I hope you understood the way I've arranged this. Okay, now I will allocate the marks as well. So I have mentioned here 11 marks, 2 marks for breaking this aim into subsidiary aims. Now you have remaining 9 marks to get. So we have pale, purpose, audience and layout, and information. Let me first complete and then I'll tell you the marking. How can we distribute that? So the major marks are here. The major marks are here. By mentioning about the purpose and linking the report with the purpose, you score major marks. You score major marks. So I would say out of the remaining 9, I can easily say that 4 marks you can secure out of the remaining 9, 4 marks you can secure here. 4 to 5 marks. The better you write, the more marks you get. 4 to 5 marks you can secure here. So 2 marks for the breakup, and then just aligning things. In fact, I need to increase the marks here because aligning is something that was required. So around 4 to 5 marks we can get here easily. Easily. Okay. Now we are done with P of pale. Let's move ahead. Information. Okay, information. So now pale I, PAIL, right? Pale I, information. So if I go back to the report and just assess the report, so the report is clearly showing me that it's all financial. It's all financial. Nothing non-financial. Nothing non-financial. Like customer surveys, like feedback from the customers, nothing is non-financial. It's all financial as far as the information is concerned. So let's have a look here. Positive is mainly financial, showing financial performance by sector. Okay. Benchmarking could be done in few areas, is also useful for decision making. As I mentioned, like net profit margin, we can compare like ROS. Information for control purpose is given. Why I'm saying control purpose is given? Because you can compare a bit, not completely. You can compare a bit, but not completely by benchmarking yourself. Even you have the previous year data available here as well. So you can do a bit of controlling. You can do a bit of controlling here by the comparison. Okay. So the information is mainly financial. It's not non-financial here. Now the negatives. Lack of planning information. Now what is planning information? Forward looking information that helps you to look how your future will be. And you know what information is important for that? It's non-financial. Non-financial gives you the idea how your future will be. Non-financial. So information like customers, competitors, or other factors which were the reason for sales revenue decline. You don't have information of that. The commentary did mention that revenue went down by 2.9%, but it never mentioned why. It never mentioned why it went down by 2.9%. Never mentioned that. So information is useful for planning. And right now, the current report has nothing for planning because non-financial is basically planning information. And when it comes to controlling, so I did mention information for controlling is available, but just 1 year. Normally, when you control, so you at least need 3 years of information. The past I'm talking about. You have just 2014 past year information. You should have 2013, you should have 2012, but nothing such is given. So for controlling purpose, if you see here, the report doesn't have sufficient information as well, like 2004, 2003, 2002. So at least 3 years are good for controlling purpose. Just 1 year is given. Plus, no budgets. If you need to control, no budgets. Nothing is giving for budgets, because you have budgets, you compare with actual, you get the variance, you get to understand. So this gives board of directors the idea, okay, we are according to the targets or not. So you are not getting any information about that as well. Okay. So positives and negatives. Now you will use another paragraph for this information point. Another paragraph where you can write first positives, and then the negatives. First positives and then the negatives. Awesome. Awesome. Without any hesitation. First positive and then negative. That's it. So we are done with eye of pale, and now coming towards audience and layout of pale. Audience and layout of pale. We can connect these two. So do you know the audience? Yeah. The audience is board of directors. So is the report, let's go back. Is the report useful for the audience? Now, the report we have here, is this report useful for the audience? So yeah, it 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 does uses some percentages as well, like we have net profit margin, revenue growth, ROS percentage. So board of directors do like things in summarized way. So yeah, there are percentages given here, and figures are available. That's okay. Figures are in millions, so that is also good. So the layout is good in millions, in percentages, easily understood by the board of directors according to the audience, and the commentary is always good. Commentary is always good. So the positives: clear and easy to read, no issue of overloading. Yeah, the biggest problem is too much of information given. Too much, too much. No overloading. Few things are given. Order book, revenue, net profit, ROS. That's it. So it's simple, easy to understand. Though it's financial, but certain things are given. So it's good. I hope you are getting my point. Narrative summary is always useful. Positives. I've connected layout with audience here. So first write about this in a different paragraph, obviously, and then the negatives. So let's see the negatives. And I don't know whether you have observed this or not. Let me just quickly show you first, and then we'll come back again, because we're almost end of this first part. You have this commentary. It says increased. It says exceeded. It says have fallen by. It says increased. Nothing is mentioned. Why? No reason. If you are the board of director and you have this commentary, now what all written in the commentary is what? What all written in the commentary is what? It's just an observation. You can easily look at the numbers and you can tell, okay, increase or decrease. Board of directors are not class 3 or 4 students. They are chartered accountants. They know percentages. So whatever written in the commentary is nothing, just a quick idea that what numbers are telling. My consultants, a good commentary is a one that tells you the reason why this happened. So the reason is not clear. The reason is not mentioned here. And this is the biggest flaw. No reason mentioned here. So despite having commentary, but is this useful? Not at all. Why? However, often commentary does not go beyond restating the figures in the table. Yeah. Explain easy, explain reason for major changes by stating why ROS has exceeded the industry average. No reason given. So what a flaw, what a flaw. And only a consultant like you and me can figure out that. Not a normal person can find out such a flaw. Person like you and me can, oh, this is the biggest flaw. What are you doing? So yes, it's true. Commentary is there, but not indicating the major reasons. In commentary, there are key things that you tell to the board of directors and their reasons. So nothing mentioned here. Plus, commentary is useful for less quantitative aspects like employee culture, employee morale. This is all what is mentioned in the commentary. For qualitative aspects, we use commentaries. So in our commentary, nothing as such is mentioned here, other than the only thing that uh, you can see here, it is only mentioned that has continued to emphasize its entrepreneurial culture to employ. That's it. So it is used for more explanation in this case as well. So nothing mentioned here. I hope my technique is clear to all my consultants, and you will love the way I've explained. You will love the way I made this simple for you. So purpose, separate paragraph, positives, negatives, information, separate paragraphs, positive, negative, and even you can use different paras for positives and different paras for negative as well. And even you can use multiple paragraphs in positives only or in negatives only. It's not that you just write a big thing in a one paragraph. You just break that. Use small paras for different points. For different points, you can use different paragraphs. Okay. So I hope this is clear to all of you, the way I've explained. So 5 marks for P, and maybe I can say 2 marks for the breakup that we have done. So that makes 7, and 2 marks for the information, and 2 marks for audience and layout. So the marking scheme has been mentioned. I've used my technique of PALE in such a great way that I made this really easy. What to write first, what positive, what negative, what positive, what negative. And I think this is the best I can do here to make this simple. A quick feedback will be really encouraging for me. Was the approach easy and impressive? No, don't write subheadings of positive and negatives. Okay, don't write subheadings of positive and negatives. Don't write that. Just use different paragraphs. Did you like the approach, my friends? Okay, don't worry. I will share the answer. I will share this slide with you people. I'm just mentioning my number again. Those are joined late. +92 321 2436 is my number. Okay, you can just WhatsApp me. I'll share the slides if you don't have the slides. Just note down your questions on a piece of a paper, and by the end of the session, we'll have a 15 minutes Q&A session. 15 minutes Q&A session. I'll answer all the questions that relates to part A, B, C, D, whatever it is. Okay. Yeah. No, don't use pale as subheadings as well. Don't use pale as subheadings as well. No need for that. Just keep pale in your mind. It's your weapon. Okay. So don't show it to anyone. Just keep this as a secret. Yeah, you can write. You can write. That is not an issue. Positive, negative points, no issues. But just make sure that it is well structured. Okay. Strength and weaknesses is the right word. but don't use this as a subheading. The only subheading that you have to use is at the start where I wrote performance report. Yes, Joseph, our examiner says up to 4 marks for this thing, up to 3 marks for this thing. Now, what this means, right? If you have written good in that area, so you can go for the maximum marks in that area. So, like this, if you wrote good about a certain thing, so you can get maximum marks for that. And like this, if you leave the others, so it gives you a good position. Okay, now I'll take up the question at the end of the session, please. Just note down, I'm not running away from the questions. I'm just focusing on the other area. So please, let's hold our questions. Let's take a 5 minute refreshing break. I need to give you time to refresh yourself. Just a 5 minute quick break, and we'll start the class at 8:15. So it's 8:10 right now. So after 5 minutes, we'll start with the next part. Be with me. Just send me a WhatsApp in the meantime. It's 3212436 is my number. See you in 5 minutes. Okay. दो सौ तीस बच्चा Okay, welcome back. 5 minutes done. I hope you have refreshed yourself. I know it's pretty much less time, but still a good refreshing 5 minutes. Yes, friends? Okay, so we are moving towards the next one. And yeah, let's start. Are you ready, my friends? Say yes quickly. Everybody say yes. Fast, fast, fast. Okay, perfect. Let's start. Now, the second requirement is the introduction of EVA for 15 marks. A very important requirement. Normally, EVA is tested a lot in terms of calculation, but right now, the thing that is concerning me is the marks. It's not 2 marks, it's not five, it's 15 marks. So here I need to tell you how to get more and more marks. How can you get more marks? So this is my concern here. So let's go to the respective paragraph and read what it says about EVA. So the second paragraph says, another criticism of performance management was that it lacked an overarching measure of performance. As a result, the CEO is considering the introduction of EVA to replace return on capital employed. Now, this is the concern. The concern is what? Replace EVA with ROS. Is ROS an indirect measure of shareholder value creation? Yes. So replace EVA with ROS. And as I mentioned, you need to find out the real requirement in the question. So it says that to replace return on capital employed as a principal measure of performance. The CEO wants to present this idea at the next board meeting, so needs an illustrative calculations of EVA along with a brief explanation of its benefits as a replacement for ROS. Yeah, the data in Appendix 2 should be used for calculation. My friends, let's first find out the object here. So the object is what? Object is we have to calculate EVA. We have to do an illustrative calculation. We have to calculate EVA. This is our object, number one. Second, we have to give a brief explanation of EVA. Now, try to understand as a replacement of ROS. Yeah, so you have to give the benefits of EVA as a replacement of ROS. And you will be shocked when I move to that point and I'll tell you what major blunder the students did in this requirement, and examiner was shocked what a mistake they did because they were not able to find out the exact requirement that is asked. So you can see here what is required. I made it really clear that you have to do an illustrative calculation of EVA and you have to mention the benefits of EVA as a replacement of rows, as a replacement of rows. So for me, these are the objects that are given to you. Calculate EVA and mention the benefits of EVA as a replacement of rows. Okay, so let's not waste our time, my consultants, and let's move on towards the Appendix 2. So, Appendix 2, what's it says? The requirement 2 is about the EV introduction. Nothing is written here when it comes to requirement because everything was mentioned in the scenario above. So now let's have a look in Appendix 2 where we have this information about EVA. And here we have. Okay. So now the details are, please be with me, the operating profit. The operating profit, which is what? Which is profit before interest in tax. Profit before interest and tax is 3175 million. Okay? It's 3175 million. This includes depreciation charge of 1780 million. Amortization charges of 95 million in the year have been incurred. Okay, great. The corporation tax rate is 25%. Tax of 694 million was paid in the year. Okay. The company has spent 90 million this year and each year for the previous 10 years on long-term brand building. The economic depreciation for the year is estimated to be 170,1907 million. That's perfect. This year and each year. So these are the things that people are not able to understand. This year and each year. Okay. For previous 10 years, economic depreciation has included a 10 million written down value of brand building. Okay. Research and development expenditure of 705 million was incurred in the period, leading to an economic asset of 4233 million. Wow, at the year end, interest paid in the period was 213 million. Capital employed during the period from the statement of financial position is given to us, and let's have a look here. Here we have. Then we are provided with what? The cost of capital. We have here the cost of capital, 12%. Debt, equity is KE. KE is 12%, and KD is okay. KD is 3.8. This is pre-tax. Okay, this is pre-tax. Gearing is 45%. Debt divide by debt plus equity ratio. And yeah, here we have the entire information in front of my consultants. So my consultants, let's work together to find out what is required as the question has stated above in that paragraph, illustrative calculation. So let's go back just to recap the basics and let's see what basics are. Economic value added is basically a divisional performance measure. Economic value added is a measure that is used for assessing the value. This is used for assessing the performance of a division. So EVA is an absolute measure and is superior to residual income. The best part about this is that it is directly related to shareholder value creation. Much, much better, much better than return on capital employed. Much better than ROCE. Okay, so it is calculated by using economic profits and economic capital employed using weighted average cost of capital. The formula of EVA is net operating profit after tax minus notional capital charge. Okay, and notional charge is something that you work out using economic value of capital employed into WACC. Okay, so my friends, there are two approaches to work out EVA. There are two approaches for the calculation of EVA. Number one, you can start from profit after tax. You can start from profit after tax, or you can start from operating profits. Operating profits. Okay. So you can start from profit after tax, or you can start from operating profits. I hope you're getting my point. Now it depends question to question what information you have. So the basics of EVA are what? EVA says there are a few important things that I quickly need to brush up here. EVA says that you should add back accounting depreciation. You should add back accounting depreciation. Okay. Plus, it says that you should now, why accounting depreciation? Because it's a non-cash item. Okay. It's a non-cash item. Plus, it says that you should add back marketing expenditure, you should add back training cost of staff, you should add back operating leases, because all of these are considered as market building item. Let me repeat the names. The names are the names are operating leases, number one. Number two, as I mentioned, advertising and marketing expenditure. Number three, staff training costs. You should add back all these items because these all are considered as market building items. Now, what this means, it's very simple concept. It says that the training that you give to your staff or the marketing that you conduct, both of the things are giving your business the benefit in the long term. A marketing expenditure will build your goodwill. A marketing expenditure will build your goodwill. Training to the staff will give staff the capabilities, the skills, and that skill set will help to grow your business. So it says that marketing expense, or you would say training cost of the labor, all these things are what that is helping your business performance in the long run. And because these are helping to grow your business performance, which will further help to create value for the shareholders. So you should add back all these expenses and consider these as your asset. You should capitalize these expenses. Why should we capitalize? Because it says that it argues that the better the skills of your employees, the better they'll perform. The better they perform, the better your business will grow, and the better your shareholder value creation will be done. Same for marketing, as marketing is creating your brand image. So the better the image, the more the sales, the more the shareholder value. So it says you should treat these as your asset and capitalize these. Okay. So yeah, this is the concept that we have made here very clear, that we are required to add back all the market building items. The last thing it says that you need to deduct economic depreciation. Now, what is economic depreciation, dear EVA? It says that it's the real fall in the value of asset. It's the real fall in the value of assets. So it says that only the real fall in the value of the assets should be deducted from your profits. Because accounting depreciation is it's a non-cash item. It's a non-cash item. It's an accrual accounting concept, that is accounting depreciation. So we will add back those. But economic depreciation is a real fall in the value of asset. It's a genuine fall in the value of assets. So economic depreciation should be deducted. So in short, EVA says that accrual-based rules should not be followed. That is the accounting depreciation, whereas the real fall in the value should be accounted for, which is known as your economic depreciation. So my friends, let's have a check in the scenario and let's apply and let's see whether we are given with profit after tax or the operating profit. So going back to the scenario, here we are. And you can see here what is given to us in the question, my consultants. So we are given with operating profit. So let's start our calculation very quickly. It's 3175. Okay, so here we are. Operating profit is 3175. I will make this again piece of a cake for you people and you will love the answer. So what to add back? What to add back? Add back the uh, add back the amortization because it is based on accrual concept. Accrual, okay. So add back this. Okay, add back depreciation. Again, this is based on accrual accounting concepts. Okay, so let's add back the amortization and depreciation. Let's quickly find the figures. It's 95 million that is given to you here in the question. This one I'm talking about. And the accounting depreciation is 1780. So let's do this. Amortization is 95. Accounting depreciation is 1780. These are all accrual concepts which are not cash based. So that is why EVA says all these should be added back because shareholders believe in cash. Okay, so we are done with this. Now marketing capitalized should be added back, marketing expense and research and development. Why is that? The concept is market building item. EVA says that these are your market building items because all these expenses will create an image for an organization, will create the brand image, and will help the shareholder value creation. So add them back. Okay, let's add them back. So we have research and development of 705 was incurred in the period. So the current year I'm talking about. So let's add back in the current year. Okay, let's add back in the current year. So I've added this back in the current year. And what about the marketing expenditure, which was mentioned in the question? So it is mentioned here the company has spent 90 million this year, okay, on long-term brand building. So yeah, we have to add back 90 million this year figure and this 705 of the current period as well. So let's do it. 705 and 95. Okay, so having said that, we have added the market building items and the non-cash items as well. So we are getting closer to cash. Economic depreciation is completely legitimate to deduct. So do we have? Yeah, we do have. So the economic depreciation this year and each year for the previous 10 years, economic depreciation has included. So economic depreciation is given to us in the question, and that economic depreciation, this is one point, okay, and the other point that is given to you in the question about economic depreciation is that it's 1907. So 1907 is what I need to deduct. 1907. Okay. Uh, Marketing capitalized, I just wrote it wrong. It's 90, not 95. I mistakenly wrote this 95. So economic depreciation will be deducted, which is 1907. As you can see here, we are done with this. Now comes the tax paid. Okay, tax paid. So how much is the tax paid? Let's see. How much is the tax paid? So the tax paid is 694 was paid in the year. Okay, 694 is paid. Now, this means this is your cash tax. Yeah, this is your cash tax that you have paid. So you have paid this tax. You have to deduct this. It's your cash tax. That's fine. But what the problem is, listen, as we started with operating profit. So what is operating profit? It's profit before interest and tax. Okay? It's profit before interest and tax. And the calculation that we have done of tax, the tax calculation actually included what? When you compute tax on PBIT, it's my question, okay? Or you compute tax on net profit, or I would say, let's make it more simple, profit after interest, okay? So yeah, we do calculate this on profit after interest. Okay, we calculate tax on profit after interest. Yeah, well, exactly, profit after interest. So, which means we do consider the impact of tax relief on interest. We do consider the impact of tax relief on interest because interest is a tax allowable expense, and because of interest payments, our tax payment goes down because we get tax saving on interest. So, in our taxation working, the impact of interest tax saving has been incorporated. Yes, in this tax figure of 694, the impact of interest tax saving is already incorporated. But we need to ensure that we don't go for a double treatment here. And why I'm saying double treatment? Because this interest tax saving will be considered in VAC. In VAC, we do consider interest after tax. And if you are not sure why, so I'll tell you, it's KD after tax. When we are calculating VAT, we consider KD after tax. So this means we do consider the impact of interest and its tax saving in VAT. So the tax figure that is given to us here, which is 694, this is a figure in which the tax saving on interest has been included. So this means this figure is a one that includes the impact of tax saving. And once we move towards VAC, we will already cover KD, we will already cover KD, which means we are already covering the interest tax relief. So to avoid duplication, we will add this back here to eliminate the impact of interest tax saving in profit and loss, and we'll add back the interest tax saving here. So for that, what we need, my friends, my consultants, we need the figure of interest, which is 213 million, and we need the tax rate as well. So the tax rate is 25%. Okay, so let's compute the interest on tax saving. 213 multiplied by 25%. I think if I round off, so the figure that I get is 53 approximately, right? It's 53 that I get here. Yeah, 53. So once I am adding this tax saving on interest, because I will consider that tax saving impact in my KD. Because I will consider the impact of tax saving in my KD, that is why, to avoid duplication of that impact, I'll add back uh, the amount of tax saving in my tax payments so that the impact of tax relief is eliminated from the tax payment, and I will incorporate that through VAC. So this will be 747 if I'm not wrong. for 747 is what I will deduct from here. And once you do, so you get a figure of 3191. Just hold down your questions if you have here. Just note it down somewhere. At the end of the Q&A session, you can ask whatever you want to, okay? So I'll just reply everything, all your concerns, no issues at all. So my Vifians, what I've done here, I've added back the tax saving on interest in the tax paid figure just to eliminate the impact of that, because that will be considered separately in KD calculation when I'm calculating WACC. Awesome. So I'm getting the figure of 13191. Okay, let's start calculating the capital employed. Remember by default, we always take start of the year figure. Start of the year figure, that is the opening figure. We always take the opening figure. If nothing is mentioned, we take opening capital employed. So how much is opening capital employed? Going back to the question quickly will tell us the opening capital employed is 19404. 19404. Okay. Now, because capital employed relates to balance sheet and NOPAT relates to profit and loss, and profit and loss is always for the year. I'm sure people know this. Whereas balance sheet is always as at P&L, profit is for the year, whereas balance sheet is always as at capital employed. So now just keep this in your mind. Just keep this in your mind. The figure that I've worked out is for 2005 NOPAT. I worked out 2005 net operating profit after tax. It's 2005. But for capital employed, I'm at the start of 2005. The profit figure is for the year 2005. I repeat, the profit figure is for the year 2005. But the capital employed is at the start of 2005, start of the year. Now, this means if you are standing at the start of 2005, the opening figure I'm talking about, so in that opening figure, you will not take impact of anything that has happened in 2005. It's a common sense. If you are at the start of the year, you will not take anything in that figure that pertains to 2005 year, obviously. So you will only take the impact of all those things that have happened prior to 2005. You will take only those things that have happened prior to 2005. Exactly. So let's add back. Obviously, it's a double entry. When you add back something in profit, the impact that goes in the balance sheet as well. But this is start of 2005. So let's add back. Okay. Research and development cost 705 was incurred in the current period. So this was considered when you were working out the profit for the current year, leading to an economic asset of 4233 million at the year end. Now, if I do a quick working here, so you will agree with me on this. If research and development end figure is 4233 and the current year figure is 705, so what is the start figure? Start figure. So is it difficult to work out? 4233 minus 705. 4233 minus 705 will give you 3528, will be the figure at the start of the year. 3528 will be the figure at the start of the year. Okay, so please be with me. No issues at all. Just note down your problems. Rizwan Maniya will not go home until and unless I solve your problems. Such a big thing I'm saying. Don't worry. I'm with you till the end. Okay. So 4233 is the figure at the end of the year of research and development that includes the current year 705. So what is the opening figure? 3528. This is the start of 2005 figure of research and development. I'm sure you will agree with me on this point. You will agree with me on this point. So what I'm doing here, my friends, is that I will add this figure of 3528 of research and development, which is of the start of 2005, because I'm standing at start of 2005. Then marketing spend capitalized. So I will add back all that marketing expenditure that I incurred prior to 2005. I will add all that marketing expenditure that I incurred prior to 2005, and let's see what is that. The company has spent 90 million this year. I'm talking about point 4 here, and each year for the previous 10 years on long term branding. So try to understand. This year it's 90 million that you have added back in profit and loss. That is no bad. And it says each year for previous 10 years. Each year for previous 10 years. And this is the practice that you are doing since previous 10 years as well, which means in 2005 it was 90 million, and the same figure was also in previous 10 years. So it's 90 multiplied by 10 means 900 is the figure that pertains to prior 2005. 900 is the figure that pertains to, my friends, what? Prior to 2005. Are you all with me? So, as I am interested only deducting that, so I will do a quick working. 90 million is the figure for the last 10 years prior to 2005 makes 900 that needs to be added back. And let me tell you, the current year figure was added here in the current profit figure, and something that pertains to the prior year was added here, previous years. So I hope this is very much clear to all of my consultant without any problem and hesitation at all. Okay, perfect. No issues at all. So because it says each year for the previous 10 years, that's why I'm doing this. Perfect. Now, this year and each year for previous 10 years, economic depreciation has included 10 million. Now, what is the economic depreciation? The economic depreciation that we included or deducted was 1907, pardon, 1907. Now, this 1907 included this 10 million. Okay. This 1907 included this 10 million of current year that we deducted from our profit. So it says that, what is the confusing part? This year and each year for previous 10 years. This is the confusing part. So this year figure is 10 million. That is already included in this 1907. And for the previous 10 years has included a 10 million written down of the value of brand building. So this is the real fall in the value of the brand building. So what I am doing here, the figure of economic depreciation for previous years prior to 2005 will now be deducted here. So 10 to 10 years, and this is 100 that I have to deduct. 100. Getting the point? The current 10 million is part of 1907, but for the previous 10 years prior to 2005, what about those? That needs to be deducted as well, because that is an economic depreciation which will be deducted from your capital employed figure. So the figures prior to 2005 were 100 million that I will deduct from here, and I will come to 23732 as my figure of economic capital employed. So my consultants, my dear consultants, I've tried here what to do. Just to tell you that in the balance sheet or the capital employed, all the adjustments will be made that pertains to 2005 prior years. Nothing will be adjusted that pertains to 2005 in capital employed, because the asset base that we have used is start of 2005. Is start of 2005. And when Christine says, sir, why we are adding all the other years figure? Because balance sheet is as at. Balance sheet gives you a position of as at, which means all the years impact should come in balance sheet. That is why. Accumulated figures. Yeah. So if you are getting what I'm trying to explain you people here, is in this capital employed, I've only considered those things that pertains prior to 2005. That's it. Now just hold down your questions if you have for the Q&A and ask me there. Let's work out back. It's very simple. The information is clear because I am very much close to the calculation of WAC here and this. So we have a KE of 12% and KD pre-tax of 3.8. So we'll multiply this with 0.25 to make this post-tax, because it's pre-tax. We need to take post-tax. Debt is 45%. So equity will be 55% here. Okay. Equity will be 55%. So let's do the workings. 55% into 12% KE plus 45% for debt into 3.8 pre-tax multiplied by 75% to make this after tax. Okay, 25% is the tax rate, so I'm multiplying this with 75%. So the WAC is 7.88%. WAC is 7.88%. So it's weighted average cost of capital. Let's work out EVA here. So how to work out EVA? It's simple. 3191 minus 23732 multiplied by 7.88% of the notional charge, and you're getting an EVA of 23,732. 23,732 EVA you are getting here. So my consultants, all of you, I hope this is clear to all of my friends all around the world that how I've calculated EVA here and the calculations has been done. It's a simple WAC that I've worked out here, and for the balance sheet items, I will take start of the year figure. So anything prior to that will be considered, prior to 2005 will be considered. For profit, I will only take anything that pertains to the current year. So this relates to current year and this relates to prior to 2005. I beg your pardon. Yeah, I've stated capital employed. The figure is 1321. Yeah, I've wrote, I've written the figure of capital employed. Yeah, so it's 1321, my friends, my friends, it's 1321. Now, let me tell you the marking scheme. This is what the important thing is. So, the marking scheme for this entire calculation, illustration. Now, how many marks can you think you will get here? For this entire calculation, you will get 11 marks. Wow, 11 marks. Out of 15, can you imagine? Out of 15, 11 marks for this entire calculation. So the half of 15 is what? 7.5. In this part of the answer, you need 7.5 to pass. Out of that, 11 you will get. Agreed? Okay. Now, what about the remaining ones? So don't worry. Here you get 1 mark for these three things. 1 mark for the comment. The business has created 1.32 billion of value in last year. Okay. Easily covering cost of capital, and EVA positive means wealth is created for the shareholder. 1 mark for these three things. Now listen, this I will say as a valid point. Now, if someone says, sometimes you have heard from teachers, 1 mark per valid point. So, what people think valid point means one sentence. No. A valid point may include two sentences, three sentences, maybe one sentence. So, valid point doesn't mean 1 point. No, that's wrong. I would say concept, one right concept is a valid point. Is a valid point. So this is a valid point that includes three sentences. The business created the value, covered cost of capital, which means wealth has been generated for the shareholder. This is classified as one valid point. You have seen in the marking it says 1 mark for one valid point. So people count. If 8 marks, so 8 points. Wrong. It's wrong. One valid point means one right conceptual point. And to explain that one right conceptual point, you need to write two sentences, maybe three sentences, maybe four sentences. So I made this clear as far as the marking scheme is concerned. And one more thing I need to add up here is own figure rule. I'm completely exam based today. Own figure rule. So what is own figure rule? Let me explain you very quickly what is own figure rule. For example, just in case you worked out this wrong, the tax figure is wrong, which means your NOPAT will get wrong, which means your EVA will get wrong. And for example, if worst case, and for example, EVA comes out negative, EVA comes out to be negative. And keeping in mind, all these three sentences were opposite and your comment was opposite. Wow, what will happen? What will happen? What do you think? What will happen? You will feel like just jumping from a huge building into the water. Don't do it. It's a suicide attempt. Don't do it. If you're not doing right. Because the fact is, my Vifians, my consultants, the fact is that, let me tell you what the fact is. The fact is that if you have done a wrong calculation about tax, so only that respective mark, let's suppose 1 mark, 1 mark will be deducted. 1 mark. Only 1 mark deduction will be done. No matter your NOPAT is wrong, you will get the marks for that. No matter your EVA is wrong, you will get marks for that. What an examiner. No matter your entire comment is wrong, you will get 1 mark for that. What else you want, my consultants? What else you want? If you're thinking I'm joking, you're wrong. I'm I am 100% right about it. 100% right about it. So yes, so don't get confused in the paper. It's a psychological game. My exam is psychological exam. And that is why my consultants and Rizwan Maniya together will have a free live mock session. What else you want from me? Just to finish off your fear of paper, I will stand with you. I will be there with you. When you are in paper, when you are in paper, you will remember Rizwan is standing behind you virtually. Okay? So, my friends, yes, this is a fact. Now, easily covering cost of capital means that it is covering the WACC. Cost of capital is WACC. It is covering WACC and it is covering WACC. So, it is giving you an excessive amount, and you should know if EVA is positive by $1, it means wealth has been created. So now it's not the end. 12 marks done, 11 for calculation, 1 for comment. And now what about the 3 marks? So what to do for the remaining 3? I'll tell you. Let's not get excited in the paper, and let's not lose our wisdom there. My friends, your examiner mentioned such a pathetic mistake done by your friends in the past. And what is that, you know? What is that? Let me tell you. The second paragraph said what? The second paragraph said that the second paragraph said that the CEO wants to present this idea at the next board meeting, so need an illustrative calculation along with brief explanation of its benefit as a replacement for rows, as a replacement for rows, as a replacement for rows, as a replacement for rows. Now you have to tell those benefits of EVA that are as a replacement of rows. But what your friends did in the past, you know, what they did, they started writing about positives and negatives of EVA. Wow, what do you expect? Examiner gave few marks to those who wrote about positive and negative. I know the question has stated benefits of EVA, but don't ignore the fact benefits of replacing EVA for rows. Benefits as a replacement of rows, not general benefits and then drawbacks. Now, what people believe, they say, okay, I know the advantages, and let me tell the examiner that I know the drawbacks as well, examiner. So good. You know, I've studied so good, so well. My tutor was Rizwan Maniya, and you know that I know the drawbacks as well. Wow. Clap for you. An examiner will give you a slap. Not clap, it's a slap. Come again. Examiner will say, come again. Are you getting my point? So, so I hope you're getting the point. Just write those that are a slap for rows. Let's see. Major advantage of EVA is it links to shareholder wealth creation. Yes, unlike rows. Unlike rows. Yes, this will give you marks, which is a short-term based measure based on accounting assumption and hence subject to manipulation. Manipulation as rows, compare with rows. This will give you marks. This will give you marks, my consultants. Second point, EVA is based on figures which are closer to cash flows, so it will reduce the dysfunctional behavior for management to engage in short-term decision making, unlike rows. Again, rows. Now, we should know that rows results in dysfunctional behavior. What manager tends to do? For achieving rows, they do manipulation. For achieving higher rows percentages, they do wrong things so that they get a higher rows. It's all wrongdoings they are doing because EVA is closer to cash, not complete cash. Here I've just recalled the advantages of EVA, but those advantages that are beneficial to write as a replacement of rows that I have to write here. Plus, EVA consistent with the NPV as business with increasing present value will increase EVA. This will aid communication as NPV is widely used appraisal measure for the business. And again, this point is emphasizing that it is much better than rows because it is aligned with NPV as well. These are common advantages of EVA, but you write in such a way that it gives an impression that you are telling these benefits as a replacement of rows. Those of my consultants who just wrote advantages and drawbacks scored very few marks here. So this is what you had to do, my friends. I hope this will be an eye opener. 3 marks here and complete marking scheme with Rizwan Maniya is in front of you. So I've given you the idea of own figure rule. I've given you the idea how to get marks in calculation, how to write right theory. That is why I always say understand the object which mentioned in comparison to rows. So, dear consultants, I hope you have understood this part as well, and things are very much clear to all of you in relation to this as well. And we have completed the other question as well, which is of 15 marks. So, like this, we are able to complete 2 parts today. One was of the 11 mark, and second was of 15 marks. So we're able to cover 26 marks. But yes, the level of detail was important. The way I've explained you performance report, I'm sure you will love that procedure of performance report and EVA as well. And the remaining 10, 20 marks are left that we will be covering in tomorrow's session as well. 4 marks are easy for the presentation, where two from date, subject, introduction, paragraph, and subheadings. So, what subheadings can you use? Performance report, EVA, information request of performance hierarchy, value chain. You can use these as your subheadings. That will be enough. That will surely be enough. So, my friends, I hope is clear to all of you. I will definitely share the presentation slides with you people so that you can get the idea of everything that I've explained today in the today's session. But for that, obviously, you need to be part of my group if you are still not part of the group. And for that, you need to send me a quick message on my WhatsApp so that you are able to become part of the group. So, having said that, now, having said that, you need to be part of my group. The next thing that I need to tell you people is, okay, now there are certain questions that you can attempt for performance report and just note down these attempts. All are question 1 for your further practice. Make sure you time bound yourself. Within time you have to solve 1.8 minutes per mark. Okay, keep the benchmark in mind, 1.8 minutes per mark. These are the 3 questions. You can take a quick screenshot of this. Okay. Uh, this is my number at the top. If you can see, just WhatsApp me if you are not part of my group. All the audience, just WhatsApp me if you're not part of my group. And now I need to first ask you the feedback about the today's session. How was the today's session? Be honest to me. Whatever your feedbacks are, be honest to me. Did the session helped you? Was it worth it the way I've explained the things? So, what is your feedback? Come on, just tell me, to be honest, what's your feedback? Was it good, helpful, useful, easy? And the best thing I tried was to make things simple for you. So, was I able to make it simple? I need everybody to give me the feedback, please. Okay. So thank you very much for your feedback, my friends. It's not over yet. You can ask your questions if you want to. And along with that, uh, we have the next remaining days as well. Tomorrow, again, we'll be covering lots of different things. Again, we'll be covering past papers and topics and things like that. So I hope all these remaining days will be helpful for you. Be part of my sessions. Do remember me, my plan. I will share the plan at the end of the webinar. So please remain connected with me anyhow through my WhatsApp groups. Just ask your friends to be part of my group so that everybody is ready well in time for the paper. My friends, remember that we will be having a very good live mock session ahead as well. So I need to prepare you for that as well. So do follow my plan. Okay. So please just WhatsApp me if you haven't, if you are not part of my group. I hope you like my session. Thank you very much for coming in very, very big numbers. To tomorrow, again, we'll be having a fascinating session. So yeah, please. I will add you in the WhatsApp group. Once my session ends, I will go home and will send you the link. Okay. And will also share the answer slides with you people. I hope the way I've explained you how to write a report would have made this piece of a cake. Okay. When to use PAT or PBIT, Martin? This is not your choice. This is not your choice. It's the examiner information that is given to you. So just follow that. Yeah. Plus 92. Plus 92. So, my dear friends, are we good? Thank you very much. Tomorrow it's same time, 6:30, 6:30 to 9:30 with more passion, motivation and zeal. We'll catch you tomorrow and will further increase your confidence and will teach you more and more good and lots of technique. Thank you very much, my dear consultant. Your Rizwan Maniya is signing off from Vifhe Studio. Remember Vifhe and Rizwan Maniya in your prayers. Do share your feedback on our WhatsApp groups for sure. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye. मैं निकल रहा हूँ कर दिया बंद